Okay, hi, and welcome everybody. It is 10 o'clock, and I hope that you are joining me for our um, fun time together. I am trying to get something posted to the Patreon group. It doesn't want to go, so give me just a minute. Uh, wow. If you're here, I am so thankful, but I'm actually not there. Okay, now let's see. Hmm. All right, here we go. I'm going to call it live chat, live stream. And I'm putting in our URL for here. And it's for our Patreons only. And it's going live now. There we go. All right. So, anyways, welcome. This is our first adventure together, and I will be doing this, of course, monthly for the circle artists and bi-monthly for the circle priestesses and priests. And this is the first time, so I wanted to take this opportunity to welcome you and have you use this time also to post your comments to me. You can see where off to the side there's the chat bar, and you can just post your comments right there for me, and then I'll respond to it. But I'm going to just share a couple of my plans that I have for the upcoming, maybe for the rest of the year, or maybe I should just do it for September, October. But anyway, some of my plans. Well, first of all, I just want to do the announcement that as soon as this live stream is over, which it'll end at 10:30 today, that I will be posting the first exclusive video class for the circle artists and the circle priestesses and priests to Patreon. And so what you're going to be making is this little page right here. It's a fun page, and it's got a little bit of a political message behind it. But most importantly, what I'm teaching you is a technique, a background technique that you can use in many of your art journal pages. It's a acrylic alcohol background, and it consists of 3 layers, and they're just beautiful. This is the sample, one of the samples that I used in creating the class. But here's a couple of other samples. My lighting's not so good right here, but you can see how different they come out. And these 3, I used all the exact same colors. So look at how different, right? So it shows you the versatility of this particular background technique. And you will get your first focal point, monthly focal point download, which is the focal points that I actually use in this particular class. Now, this class won't go live or to the public for about 6 months, so it's exclusively yours, or until I get all 4 of them done, and then I decide to make another one. They might remain exclusive for a while, but that is going to come to you today. And I also released this week access to the Sacred Pocket Journal class, and you now have access to that, and that goes out to several of the tiers. So I'm very happy to share that with you, and I really would like you to share what you learned from it, where your challenges or difficulties were. If you have questions, you just post those questions. And where to post them? Well, you can go right into Patreon and, of course, post them to me. I'm not so good at going to Discord yet. I will make more of a point to do that. Or you can go to the Read It program application that Patreon uses also. I'm not really familiar with that one, but I will. And of course, feel free to always post your questions directly into our private Facebook group. That I check, if not every day, every other day. I'm pretty good about checking that. Okay, so I gave you a second sneak peek into my studio. Now, what those are all about is it's not me talking to you or demonstrating anything. It's just to allow you the opportunity to come into my private creative space and maybe see a project I'm working on, and see how horribly down home I can be in my appearance, but also just to see me working. Okay, I just looked at the screen and I saw this table right here. I've actually had a, um, a, a couple, two contacts from different students ask, what is that bed that appears in your video sometimes? That's my Reiki table. I am a Reiki master. And so my income actually comes through my Reiki practice. And so my studio, I'm going to try and turn it so you can kind of get a sense for it. My studio goes, you're not going to be able to see my corner over there, but I've shown plenty of pictures of it. So this is the desk area, and then my Reiki table is in the middle. Reiki supplies and other supplies over in that corner, and then over just parallel with where I'm sitting now, my art studio. And next time I give you a peek in the studio, I'll share that with you. I'll actually film it for you so that you can really see the environment that I work in. And I do use my Reiki table when I'm working on multiple projects or big projects, or I just need the space. I have a plastic tablecloth that I put over. I take the pillow off, of course, and then I just drape it with tarps, and I use it as a workspace. So all of my work that I do, all of my creative processes and creations, all have Reiki energy in them. So if you ever get anything from me, digital or otherwise, it's filled with Reiki. So hold that and feel it, open to it. Okay, now here's a couple of other notices that I would like to share with you. Patreon is slow in kicking off, so we only have 2 members at this time. So, and right, I can see that nobody is able to come into this first chat, and I understand. And if I'm doing this correctly, I hope I'm doing this correctly because I didn't do a test. You will have a copy of this to watch. I hope. I think so. I'm not sure. So I might be doing this just for the thin air, but it's good practice. That's how I look at it. I appreciate any support you can give by promoting Patreon as well as my online classes. Bring your friends, and if you have students, bring them in. I will look very favorably upon that support, and there will be gifts that go out, and as thank you and gratitude. And plus, you get to maybe grow a little bit more with some of your friends and students in a personal way. It creates a real networking community, and I know sometimes we get really possessive and want to hold on to things as our own. This is for me. This is for me only. Nobody else. I've been there. I done that plenty of times, and I always walk away from it. Yeah, I got some new skills, but I always walk away feeling still alone. So I'm beginning to realize it's more important to bring people into it. So one of my pledges to you as a member is to let you know when I'm going to join something. There are so many different teachers now working on the internet and so many different techniques, and we all have our different artistic skill, our different slant on creations and techniques that uh, you can't. There's more than enough to go around, in other words. I do want to share one thing about getting involved into too many online. At one time last year, I was involved in 3 different online groups. One was a 6-month, one was a 10-week, one was a 4-month. And I have to tell you something, it became overwhelming because you have lessons. And if you're an overachiever like me, you feel like you have to keep pace. You have to do the week's lesson and turn in the assignment because that's what it is. It's a week. I mean, it's a timeline. It's not like with me where you go to my website and you decide you want to take that class and you do it at your leisure. No, a lot of the online programs it's a weekly assignment. And I'm actually in the process of creating a start to finish class. It'll be about 8 weeks, and each week I will give you a different lesson, and we do it together. And then you turn in, you share, you ask questions, and I'm doing it on fairy tales. I think I'm developing two, but I'm doing it on fairy tales, and I wanted to kind of give you a peek at the journal that I'm working in right now. I know you've seen this before because I filmed it, but fairy tales like Pete's Dragon. We won't do all of these, but I'm just showing you my exploration. Pete's Dragon. Here's Frau Holle. Here's My Children of Lear. It's on caustic. We won't be doing that probably. And then Hedwig from Harry Potter, and Thumbelina, Snow White, Sleeping Beauty. Here's my Rapunzel, who's a little bit rebellious. She doesn't let down her hair for just anybody, I'm telling you. Okay, I think I have to skip back a little bit. Oh, maybe Sleeping Beauty's castle. All right. I gotta get. Here we go. Cinderella, Tinkerbell, and Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Now, these are fun techniques, and the thing about them is you do learn quite a bit of technique because it's always going to, it's not just about doing these Disney-like fairy tale images. It's really about learning certain painterly illustrative techniques that are a very specific genre in art journaling as well as in the art community. The other thing that I'm working on is a program. It would be an 8-week program that we would do together, where you make your own. You make your own binder, and this is not a notebook. I actually put it all together, and then we have our little brainstorm or planning for each picture we paint. there's the symbols, there's the sacred symbols. So if you do this before I offer that, you've already got the sacred symbols with your symbols that I've put into this one because I think it is so perfect. But what happens is we are going to make affirmation cards. So it's affirmation picture that we'll paint, and then it will have an affirmation card that will go with the picture. And each one of them will guide us deep, deep, deep into our own personal um, sense of who we are, as well as some real explorative processes that will take place. But you'll be making a journal, a handmade journal. You'll be making the notebook to keep it all in, and then the affirmation cards. And my intention is that you make 6 cards to start off with, because one week you're going to be making the notebook, and then the next week you're going to be making your journal that you work in, your journal and your little muse booklet. Hopefully you'll already have your sacred symbols done by then. And then week 3 is when we kick it off and begin working with our first live affirmation card, I should say. Okay, so with that said, I would like to take this opportunity also just to do a shout out, okay? And the shout out is for Jennifer. Jennifer, thank you so much for the box of goodies that you have shared with me. I've been using them for the creations. I used quite a bit of them in the new class called Orange Sunshine. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And also I would like to give a shout out to Jessica and Cynthia, a mother and a daughter team, who gave me a bag full of goodies. I've already started using some of those very cool duct tapes that you've given me. So thank you, thank you, thank you very, very much for that also. I really appreciate the generosity of those types of donations, because it benefits all of us. It provides me with new supplies, and it benefits all of us. So one of the other things I wanted to share with you, oh, I already did that. I showed you that. I showed you that. I wish there were more of us here, because at this time I had planned to just pause and open it up to some questions and answers, and just some dialogue. But I'm going to just leave you with some questions to think about. One, are you finding your mobility around the website easy? Are you finding everything easily enough? That's one of my questions. Two, is Patreon working for you? Are you feeling comfortable with it and able to access or understand how to access your tiers posts? Three, is there a certain technique that you've been wanting to learn? I may be teaching you things specifically for art journals, but I'm also an artist and I work on Canvas. And I do have some plans to work with you on a couple of Canvas projects. A peek into my studio yesterday, you got to see me working on a painting on a birch canvas, Snow White and Rose Red, part of the fairy tale series, and a very involved process. I'm not filming it. So that one may not end up being in the fairy tale series that I do, but that's okay. I haven't filmed any of them. When I'm really working, I don't film. I haven't gotten into the routine of filming, I should say that. Because as you all know, uh, being an online teacher is fairly new for me with regards to doing live streams like this, and also filming content for classes. Well, we've come to the 20-minute mark, so I think at this time I'm going to wish you all a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to seeing you at the next live chat. Bye bye for now.